have x to the power of 625 is equal to 5 to the power of x. This is an unusual equation, and so what we want to do is to multiply both sides by the inverse of the powers. Multiply both sides by the inverse of both powers. So what that becomes is, on the left hand side we have x to the power of 625. We are multiplying by the inverse of 625. Okay, and then we are also multiplying by x, the inverse of x, okay, 1 over x. And then on the right hand side we are multiplying by the inverse of x and by the inverse of 625. When we do that, 625 cancels out 625, and then we are left with x to the power of 1 over x. All right, on this side x cancels out x, and we are left with 5 to the power of 1 over 625. Okay, so our task here is to write 5 to the power of 1 over 625 in this form, where the denominator of the power is the same thing as the x, right? So in this case we have a 5 here and we have 625. So we want to find a situation where we can write 5 as exactly in the form of the denominator of the power. All right, so this is what you want to do. Okay, so on the right hand side, that's what we want to manipulate to get this form. Okay, so what you want to do is to write this 5 to the power of 5 over 5, okay, which is of course 1. Then when you multiply it by the power 1 over 625, which is the usual power, this is what you want to do. You want to take this as 5 to the power of 5, and then we have 1 over 5 times 1 over 625. This is exactly the same as this, but the idea here is to increase this number. Since 5 is less than this, we want to find a way to increase 5 such that we can get the same value as the power. All right, so 5 to the power of 5, when you do that, 5 times 5 times 5 into 5 places gives us 3,125. Okay, incidentally, when you multiply the powers, this becomes 1 over 5 times 625. When you do the multiplication, you also get 3,125. So we see that x to the power of 1 over x has been written, the right hand side has been written in the form of the left hand side. And so when you do a simple comparison, you see that x is simply 3,125. That becomes our answer. When you substitute it into this equation, you are going to find that this is the value of x in this equation. I hope you learned something from this video. Give it a try, give it a shot, and then we'll see you in the next one.